February 23, 1942. Just 2 months after the attack on Pearl Harbor, fear gripped the American West Coast. Blackouts were enforced, air raid drills became routine, and the US braced for a Japanese invasion. But few people today remember that the Japanese did strike the US mainland. That night, a lone Japanese submarine surfaced off the coast of California and opened fire on an oil refinery near Santa Barbara. This was the shelling of Ellwood, the first Axis attack on the American mainland during World War II. At the start of 1942, the Imperial Japanese Navy had control of the Pacific. Their aircraft carriers had crippled the US fleet at Pearl Harbor, and their submarines prowled the west coast. One of these subs, I-17, captained by Commander Kozo Nishino, had a special mission: strike fear into the American heartland. I-17 had been patrolling the California coast for weeks, gathering intelligence and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. On the night of February 23rd, Nishino found his target, the Ellwood oil field, a crucial refinery supplying fuel for the US war effort. At 7:15 p.m., I-17 surfaced just offshore. Through the darkness, its crew aimed the sub's 140mm deck gun at the oil field's storage tanks and opened fire. Shells screamed over the cliffs, some landing near oil tanks, others smashing into nearby fields. A few struck close to a refinery building, but miraculously no major damage was done. Witnesses described terrifying explosions and the ground shaking beneath them. But before the US military could respond, I-17 slipped back beneath the waves and disappeared into the night. The attack on Ellwood sent shockwaves across the country. Some feared it was the beginning of a full-scale invasion. In response, the US fortified coastal defenses, installed anti-aircraft guns, and placed more patrols along the shore. Just 1 day later, Los Angeles erupted in chaos as jittery soldiers mistook weather balloons for an enemy air raid, leading to the infamous Battle of Los Angeles, where American forces fired thousands of rounds into the empty night sky. In the grand scheme of World War II, the attack on Ellwood was a minor military action, but its psychological impact was massive. It showed Americans that the war was no longer an ocean away, it had arrived at their shores. Today, a plaque near Santa Barbara marks the site of the first direct attack on the US mainland during the war, one that many have forgotten. A single Japanese submarine, a few artillery shells, and a coastline on edge. The shelling of Ellwood may not have changed the course of the war, but it remains a chilling reminder that even on the home front, war was never too far away.